Hi, it's Rebecca, Empathic Crow, trying to intentionally say it because the captions pick up crew, C-R-E-W. I don't know, I've got an accent. What accent I have, who knows? I pick up different accents wherever I go without meaning to. It's just something that's always happened. But that's just me. I used to work in mental health and now I do full-time tarot, mediumship, Reiki, things like that. So that's just a little bit about me. There's a lot more. That's just little. I wasn't going to record a reading today, so I've got some tinted moisturizer on with sunscreen because I was out in the mountains in the beautiful sunshine. But as I was sitting down to do some editing and creating some things and whatever, I start hearing Desert Rose by Sting. And I was like, okay, there's a message coming through. And as I'm looking at my stones, of course, Desert Rose selenite comes into mind, which makes sense because the song was in my head. Also some polychrome jasper, specifically this flame. I do have a heart, actually, that we'll go ahead and pull from back here and put on the table as well because it feels important, because this is very much so a sacral chakra sense that I'm getting. I didn't even realize that I picked a paper that had orange on it, orange being sacral chakra. But with this polychrome jasper, and specifically a flame, it's also known as desert jasper. I didn't know that, so that's kind of cool. This does look a little earthy, and I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but right there, let me see if I can get it in the light. It almost looks like an eye. Let me see if I can get my finger to it. Right there. So that's kind of cool. But anyway, polychrome jasper, desert jasper, earth and fire. It's strength, stability, transformation, helps with personal growth, navigating life's changes, and enhancing spiritual connections. So that's been a theme with some of these stones. The next one, I'm not going to tell you all the stones that are on my desk, but the golden healer, just the 3 that were the most important as I was channeling in. Golden healer, it's a master healer, personal empowerment, clears blocks, self-healing, so helping to heal yourself, whether that's emotional, mental, physical, all those things, and also promoting that spiritual connection. And I love this one. I got it at a metaphysical fair years ago, and it has points going in all different directions. So I love that. Multi-directional, right? So the line specifically, and yes, I am going to sing. I'm not promising an amazing voice. And I also have, as I said, been out in the mountains with pollen flying at me. But sound, frequency, it's all energy, and it's very powerful. So we'll see. But the line, the verses in the song that felt very, and I'm seeing a line as I say that because confidence is a part of this. So take that as you feel called to. In this deck, the Light Seers Tarot, the Strength card has half a lion face, half a woman's face, and a lamb. I don't know. Feels really random, but it always comes together in the end. But anyway, so the line, the verse that came to me was, and as she turns, this way she moves in the logic of all my dreams. This fire burns, I realize that nothing's as it seems. So when I first was hearing those lyrics in my head, I'm thinking, okay, so you're imagining this person and she's moving around, and kind of your dream is creating this logic of what that would look like, and it creates this passion, this intense fire, and realizing that it's not as it seems. And so the channeled message at the top, the word that kept coming through was muse. So like, well, let me just read the channeled message to you and it'll make sense. Turn your eye to your true desires. What you dream and seek is only the idea, not the outcome. It is the inspiration and spark that ignite your passion and mind's endless ability to realize what is possible, so that you can create the life you desire. Do not, and that was capital letters, get. See, when I'm channeling, my handwriting is horrible. And the further it goes, the worse it gets. All right. Do not get caught in visions that you are not able to manifest into reality. And I feel like that kind of goes with the lyrics of the song, where it's like you have this dream of this woman who's bringing in these feelings of passion and fire, intimacy, things like that. But it may not be that she's the one. She's just the dream. It's inspiring you, whether it's a literal inspiration for love, or if it's an inspiration that you are finding, again, the life you desire, creating things that are inspiring or spark creativity in you. So we'll see where that goes. We're starting out with the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. This is a pocket deck. I've already pre-shuffled the cards because I know sometimes they do get lengthy. So what do we need to know, Spirit? What do we need to know about this passion and desire? And I'm feeling, as I'm doing this, just very, like it's urgent, it's intense. I'm feeling this intense feeling of urgency. That's what it is, an intense feeling of urgency. So Spirit, what are you telling us? Ooh, the devil energy. And that was part of, in this message, the last part, do not get caught in visions that you are not able to manifest into reality. So like the vision of that woman may, like I said, not be the thing. It's just an inspiration, whether it's your subconscious, whatever you want to call it, an inspiration for you to find things that create the reality that you want. But not everything that you think you want or how you think you want it is what's meant for you. And I'm being called to the image of the person down here who's just in despair, because if you box yourself into what you think that dream is supposed to look like, you may never achieve it, because now you're so focused on this one specific way that you are creating it. And I'm seeing a lot of green around him and being called to, like with the polychrome jasper, focus on that heart chakra. So that's why I picked up the polychrome jasper heart and have the flame here too. So whether it's love or whatever it is, 1212 on the clock for you, this is calling you to focus on your passions, but not in a way that you are 1222 on the clock, feeling like it has to be a certain way. Again, the dream, the idea, whatever comes to you, the daydream, whatever, is just an idea. We've got the Fool card here, and this came out in one of the zodiac readings the other day. So we've got that flower of life, and she's actually got her back to the cliff. So I'm noticing some other things than the other day, like the yellow solar plexus chakra. What is going on here? Like I feel like, it kind of feels like I'm not feeling like I have a crush, but if you're talking to somebody that maybe you've looked up to, or you have a crush or something like that, and you feel like you're tongue-tied, that is how this is feeling. And maybe that's the way you feel about your dreams. Like, words are hard. 1313 o'clock, words are hard. So that solar plexus chakra, she's got it balanced. She's trusting. She's got the amethyst in her hand. If you can see it, it's teeny tiny. But that purple, that connection, she's connected and guided. She's also standing on the ground. She's grounded, and she's manifesting her dream. She's taking that leap. But what we're being told is, be careful how you do that. Like, yes, go after your dreams and passions, but not in a way where you're feeling like it has to be this one thing and it has to be perfect, is what I'm hearing. It has to be perfect. Again, that word muse is coming into my head, that what you're thinking of is just the idea. It's just the inspiration. It's not necessarily the end. And with the Nine of Wands, like, these things are things from the past, and they may not have worked out, but she's got another wand in her hand. The fire's lit. And notice how stoic she is. Like, I feel like this is showing where you're allowed to pull back and think things through. Like, you don't have to immediately leap. You're going to have to move. You can't just sit on an idea because it doesn't come to fruition. You don't do anything with it. But I'm seeing a horse like digging its feet into the sand. Like, I'm hearing, whoa, Nelly, slow down, basically. So you're being called to have the passion, make some moves, but in a way it really feels like, and even with this flower of life, that it's kind of like in the drawing stages is what I'm hearing. Like, think it through so that you can move, but don't feel like it has to be this perfect thing. I'm hoping this makes sense, because it's very intense, but not in a way that it's like intense emotional. It's just like, and that's probably why with the Nine of Wands, I feel like it's that passion. Keep the passion going in the thoughts, but slow down. Like, don't just jump into this. We've got the King of Pentacles. So what your idea is, you don't want it to get lost in this devil energy where it's not going to happen. You're stuck in, I posted that the other day, you're just stuck in a loop, right? Because you want for it to manifest your dreams. You know, we talked about, even with these stones, manifesting your dreams, being connected, being confident. And the King of Pentacles, he's confident. He's calm because he's already built all the things. So it's kind of like the story here. If you're getting too caught up in things, you're going to get trapped. 15:55 on the clock. And then you've got the Fool card. So you want to move, but not necessarily take a full leap. And I talked about this flower of life. I think that's what it's called. I did not look it up. So if you watched the reading, there was a crow flying past my window. If you watched the reading where I talked about this, I can't remember whose sign it was, but kind of like a safety net. So having a safety net in place, but not fully waiting forever. The flame's still lit and you're going to make a move, but you're not doing it immediately because you're building something and you're using your intuition that is grounded. I was in my mind seeing all that red, grounded and from a heart space. There was also the short channeled message that came through right before I was about to do a channeled message. Well, not a, but like specifically focusing on the Divine Masters. And that was with Sanat Kumara. But there was a channeled message of keep your money clean and come from a heart space. So that's kind of coming in too. It's interesting. Sometimes I reference my stuff, sometimes I don't. Now, the interesting thing I'm seeing right now, and you may or may not see it, is that there are like sparkles or little dots of light in the hair of this devil card. And then there are some coming up off the pentacle. So again, going back to that song, Desert Rose, recognizing that just because it's shiny and it's pretty and it sparks your attention doesn't mean that it's what you really need. So with this, it's sparkly and shiny because he's built this. It's a quieter sparkle, whereas this is like, let me get your attention, let me draw you in. So don't get caught up. Don't get caught up. All right, I feel like that is what we're getting from the Light Seers Tarot. So let's see where we're going next. Let's go to the Shamanic Medicine Oracle. So as I said, these are the cards that I had earlier today, and it just felt right to pull these decks out. Again, they are all pre-shuffled. So I feel like the question is going to be what you need to get yourself into a mindset where you're building this dream, getting out of that anxiety. So what does whoever this is for in the collective, what do they need to be able to get into this calmer mindset? Now see, it's getting past this devil energy. So we started out with the devil card in the Light Seers Tarot, and then now we have the Trickster challenge. And notice all this orange back here, that sacral chakra. And the Jester, I mean, there is a lot of fun, passion, or maybe not even passion, but fun and creativity. If you're going to entertain, you're going to be the court jester, or you're going to put on a mask or whatever and go around, you're going to be trying to bring joy even if you don't feel it. I wonder why that's important. And I feel like, oh, that's why that's important. That if you don't feel that joy from what you're doing, and I keep noticing that he's got green in his pants. So that heart chakra, but also the black. So again, that brings in that grounded but heart-centered. If you're not feeling joy in what you do, if it's not igniting a spark, like this right here is looking like a DNA strand, it's also looking like a wand. So if it's not within your soul what you're wanting to do, then it's just a trick. It's just a flash of, I'm seeing like a flash of light. It's just like a flash in the pan. It's something that it may get you attention, and it may be a piece of what you think you want, but it's not really what you want. You're not really going for your heart's desire. I'm hearing, don't settle for the quick fix. Don't settle for the attention. Don't settle for the attention, which makes sense with the Jester. Trying to see if there's anything else that's kind of coming to me. The main thing is, like, these look like the POW symbols, like the BAM, POW, you know, the emoji. And then there's one that's right on his heart. I don't know if you can see it, and I know I need a different camera. But there's one left of his chest, right on his heart, almost like being shot in the heart. Like, I feel like if you take that quick fix, if you do something that may bring you joy for a little while, but it doesn't give you that long-term fulfillment, then it's like that heart chakra. I'm looking at my green Amazonite heart right now. It's like you've just killed your dream, is what I'm hearing. You've just killed your dream. It's not that you can't go back to it. It's just it didn't do what you were hoping that it would do. And that's the challenge, is being able to, yeah, I'm seeing this card and the slow down again, like slow down, like the horse putting its feet into the, or hooves into the sand. It may feel like you want to move quickly, but it's having that, it's having this flame and this spark, but not feeling like you have to just jump, because you want to be balanced in that solar plexus chakra, and you want to feel calm, like with that amethyst, that calming energy connected to the crown and third eye. But you got to be grounded as well, because otherwise you're moving too quick and you feel like you've just, well, like this person down here at the bottom, you feel like you took this thing that was flashy and shiny, and now you don't have what you want. Hopefully that's making sense. There's so many thoughts coming into my mind, and I never remember what I say until I watch it back. And then sometimes, and it was 22:44 when I looked up, sometimes it's just kind of feeling very disjointed in the moment, and I watch it back and I'm like, that actually makes sense. All right, so we have offerings, wealth. Yeah, so if you're, it's so funny. Look at this. All right, we'll do it this way. Trickster and Devil. Card I started off with in the Light Seers Tarot, card I started off with in the Shamanic Medicine Oracle. And that's by Barbara. In case you want to know, I could just put them in the thing. Barbara Micklejohn Free and Flavia Kate Peters. But yeah, so we're starting out with, in both decks, with this Devil Trickster energy, where it's like you have a passion, there's something you want, but if you're just kind of like going for the shiny flashy thing, like in that song, The Fire Burns, I realize that nothing's as it seems. Like, you're so passionate about something, but instead of slowing down, not immediately taking the leap, still moving forward at some point, but thinking it through, you're not going to build the wealth, the abundance that you want. So with this offerings card, we also have a flame up here, and it's that altar. So like putting, whether it is to your ancestors or a spiritual practice or whatever, but I also see it as you putting, because I'm seeing somebody putting like coins in a jar, and someone writing in a book. It's like writing down your ideas and putting, now I'm seeing an architect drawing a plan. It's creating what you want. You don't have to just sit on it. You can move as you go, but it's respecting and honoring yourself, your process, your creativity. And now I'm seeing somebody like selling stuff. It's like not shorting yourself just to get the quick buck, but valuing yourself and putting the craftsmanship and the time into whatever it is that you're crafting. It could be that you sing. It could be that you create content. It could be that you create art. It could be that you help people, whatever it is. It's that you don't feel like you're just kind of, I'm seeing a conveyor belt like in a factory, just popping it out, that you're actually putting your passion into what you're doing. Because like I said, if we don't, that's when we get to this point where it feels like the heart of what you're doing is gone. All right, we'll see if anything else is coming from the shamanic medicine deck. Like I said, I feel like some of this is felt disjointed, but the message is very clear. And that's from the song and the gemstone meanings or crystals, rocks, whatever you want to call them, to the channeled message. All of it is very clear. Anything else from this deck? All right, one more shuffle, but I think that's it from this particular deck. Yep. Where are we going? We are going to the Intuitive Whispers deck by Maud Hurst. So what is needed right now? For the person who this is for, what is needed right now? 8. Listen from the heart. So 8 in the tarot is the Strength card, and that heart is glowing. And notice we're out in nature. So again, that grounding and getting into that heart center. Part of this is calming your nervous system down, because sometimes when we're doing things in a way that's not in alignment with us, sometimes it's because we feel worried about judgment from others. We feel like we have to do something now because what if I don't have this? What if I don't have that? And Spirit's saying it's there and it's coming. But if you're just kind of scrambling around, now I'm seeing where there was a short read I did in the park where I was talking about seeing a mouse like scrambling to get the cheese and running into these trap doors. Yeah, if you're just scrambling around, you're not listening from the heart. You may get some things that are helpful, but it's not really what you want. You've lost the passion. You've lost, I'm hearing the whole point. You've lost the whole point. Because I feel like sometimes we forget that part of the point of what we do is to enjoy it, to do something that is our soul's passion, but we're taught to just, at all costs, just make sure you're working. Yeah. So we've got 2, which is unraveling. That does not mean like that you're unraveling like the mouse chasing the cheese. It could. But with this, it's that you're getting grounded and you're kind of like, I'm seeing the onion reference, even though it's flour, you can imagine it's flour, like the petals, you're pulling the layers off and getting down to the heart of, well, of your sacral chakra, because the heart I see is the center. What is it that you really want? Pulling back those layers of personal judgment, of roles and identities that you've been put in. I'm seeing the grounded and glowing course and integration sessions that I developed and I'm redeveloping right now. So that's probably why that's on my brain. Where it's kind of getting down to the core of the whys that we do things sometimes and they may not make sense because it's coming from that unbalanced solar plexus chakra where we're trying to create safety. That's funny. We're trying to create safety through our external environment instead of realizing and creating safety within us. What makes me feel safe? So it feels like, what makes me feel safe? What makes me feel grounded? What is my passion? Sometimes in life we're told, oh, you would be a good such and such. Maybe you, like I thought I was going to be a teacher. And until the end of my junior year of college, that was my trajectory. And then I changed it, double majored and did all the things, still trying to prove my worth, right? Now, you don't even need to know my degrees. And I'm not even feeling as much called to let you know what I did before I did just this. Sometimes I do, but it's because I no longer see that as my main value. My value is that I show up. My value is that I try to help people. and I don't force it. That's my value. That's the way I see it. So what is your value? When you strip down all the expectations, all the things that you thought people wanted you had to be or whatever, what's left? That's the unraveling. And then the next card we have is 38, which breaks down to an 11, which is a master number. We've got the master healer here. Community calls. So you've got these mountains and this grassy field with daisies. So finding the community that supports your passions, that where you don't feel judged, or if you do, that you're balanced in how you view those relationships. You're not allowing yourself to get caught up in being pulled back into old energies that do not help you anymore. All right, this has gotten kind of long. No, I'm still feeling that there's another card, but I don't think I have the deck that it's coming from up here. So let me see what deck is calling me. Because there's something here. Okay. All right, so I'm being called to these affirmators, which is not necessarily like an oracle deck or whatever, but they're a little sassy, you could say. It was 3111 when I looked up. And it's feeling like that's the energy that we need. Like, I'm going to tell you affirmation, but it's going to be in a way that, you know, let's just call it like it is. So let's see what the affirmator is. Because I am reminding myself, 3133, that I do not have to worry about the time. I do the timestamps. You want to navigate through, that's cool. I just appreciate you watching any of it, and if it helps you, that's the main thing. So what is the affirmation that is needed right now? We all get into these places where we're triggered by past sense of not having safety or having to minimize ourselves for others. And I feel like this reading is 100% saying, don't minimize yourself even to yourself. But at the same time, understanding that you don't want to, like I said, with the Fool card, throw all caution to the wind. You want to be intentional in what you're doing. All right, so here's our affirmator. Ultimate potential. If that doesn't go with what we've been talking about, I choose to live my life. I choose to live a life of my fullest potential. I trust that this will draw me towards experiences and people that support my growth and accomplishment. Tuning into this frequency. See, like I said, there's this excited energy that's just coming out, and it feels very, and I was very calm earlier. So tuning into this frequency, I now reach higher heights than I ever thought possible. Knowing that's an option. Why would I ever have tuned into anything else? I'm looking at you, smooth jazz and talk radio. So with this, it's still pointing to that you choose to live your life to the fullest potential, and recognizing that you're tuning into a frequency that may be bigger than you ever thought possible. And that's okay, because you create the things that you want in your life, and people are going to judge you. But guess what? People are always going to judge you. Let's see if there's another affirmator coming out, but I think this is a pretty full reading either way. Perseverance, that makes sense, like I said, with this Nine of Wands. Keep moving. It seems you're on a massive journey right now, and this card has arrived to remind you that you will reach the other side. The mountain you're climbing is huge and formidable, but so is your ability to climb it. You don't need to enjoy it. You just need to tackle it. Complain if it makes the job easier, blow off steam. You think the mountain climbers get to the top of Everest on inspirational quotes. No way. They're grunting and crying and cursing like freaking pirates that just doesn't sell a lot of posters. So like I said, it may not be a quick and easy fix. It may not be something that you do and it just brings immediate success. And I'm thinking of this mountain right here in the background. I think I said that doesn't mean that it's going to be easy, but it's you recognizing your potential, recognizing your dreams, leaning into balancing that sacral chakra and the solar plexus chakra, building your confidence, building your self-esteem, allowing yourself to let go of some anxieties, but not just running full force, allowing yourself to think it through so that you're not just building that quick flash in the pan moment that may bring you joy for a moment, but is it really fulfilling your heart's desire? But you're intentionally building, slowing down when you need to, honoring your needs, your worth, and the things that bring you joy, so that you're creating a life of abundance. King of Pentacles and the wealth card offerings that you love. And look at all that orange. Like I told you, this is a sacral chakra reading. All right, I hope that was helpful. I'm going to move on to some other things. It did feel like my energy is already calming down. So for whoever this is for, I feel like you're feeling really anxious about whatever it is that is your passion, and you're not sure if you should go for it. I can't tell you what to do, but this message definitely feels very positive in focusing on how you create that for yourself. It's not that you just quit everything and go do it. It's that you're intentionally focused on building what it is that you want, what lights your passion, what lights yourself up. All right. If you enjoyed that, you want a personal read, you can always get those. That anxiety is coming back in. That's weird. I don't know where that's coming from because it's not me, but that's okay. If you would like a personal reading to explore your personal situation, you can always book a reading with me. I'll try to remember to put that link in the not the comments, but the description. If I don't, it is in my bio. Yeah. All right. Calm those thoughts down. Okay. Just slow down. Ground yourself. Take some time to listen to your heart and allow yourself to explore what it is that you really, really, really want. And then work on building the community, the supports, even within yourself, even within your higher divine guidance team. I hope that helps. Take care, and I will see you next time.